Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. So this is actually going to be a piggyback video. I'm not sure what I'm going to actually title this video, but there was something that stuck out to me and I just felt the need to actually get on here and talk about it and do a video on it. I was actually listening to someone's live that I am subscribed to their channel on YouTube. I also follow them on Facebook. And what stood out to me is that a young woman had asked this individual should she meet up with her ex because he wanted to apologize to her. She had broke up with him because he was just basically being abusive to her. He was disrespecting her. He was not treating her the way that she deserved to be treated. And I think at one time he grabbed her. So she decided to break up with him. So he called her and he says, is it okay if we meet up somewhere so that I can apologize to you? So she was asking this individual, do you think that I should go and meet up with him so that he can apologize to me? And the individual told her, no, don't meet up with him to apologize. And just right there, something just really came to me, and I just had this drive to just get on here and do a video. I'm a type of person that I tend to be into court TV, so sometimes shows where there's like missing person investigations, where families are saying like their loved ones have been missing, and and then there's also like boyfriends or husbands or things of that have been like suspects, and things of that, because there has been situations where a woman has actually broken up with a man and he has called her and asked her to meet him somewhere because he wanted to apologize. And I've seen, and this is real life stuff, and I've seen where this woman has actually met up with this man, and he the plan, he told her that he wanted her to meet up with him so he can apologize. But the real plan was that he wanted to really get off his chest on, why did you break up with me? And what we have to realize is that when a woman leaves a man, if you're dealing with a man who is very immature, who's very childish, and who's very prideful, and he just has all of this ego, then he's going to be like, wait a minute, you don't leave me. You don't break up with me. So he's going to try to find a way to get back at you. Get this, even if that means that he has to take your life. Women has met up with men because the man is claiming, oh, I'm so sorry, I just want to apologize to you. Can you meet me somewhere? This woman meets him somewhere. She may get in her car and drive to wherever he's at, and they sitting off somewhere in a parking lot. She gets out of her car, gets in his car, and then next thing you know, he starts this big argument with her. But she's confused, and she's like, well, I thought you wanted to apologize for how disrespectful and abusive you've been. But that was never his plan. His plan was to really get back at her. That was the real plan. So he basically coerced her to meet him somewhere. They get it. He starts this big argument with her, maybe in his vehicle, or maybe he borrowed somebody's car. Next thing you know, he done pulled out some kind of weapon, a knife and a gun, and he done killed this woman. Because a lot of men that are immature and that is very childish, they have this motto that if I can't have you, then nobody else is going to have you. And that means that it doesn't matter how bad I'm treating you. This is the motto and the mindset of an immature, childish man, that it doesn't matter how bad I treat you, you don't leave me. You're not going to leave me and go off and be with another man that could possibly treat you better than I have ever treated you, So he has this mindset of that this woman needs to stay with him and stay with him so that he can keep controlling her and abusing her and neglecting her and mistreating her and handling her carelessly And if she decides to leave, then he's going to put a plan in place and he's going to take her life. You know what I'm saying? And this is a mindset, I believe, of a man that is extremely immature and that is extremely childish, and a man that has serious social and emotional issues. And that's why women, it's so important. And I'm so glad that this man, he's a man of God, that he told this young lady, do not meet him. Do not go meet him. Too many women have done this and they have lost their lives. Too many women have met a man because he's talking about, oh, I'm so sorry and I just want to see you and I just want us to talk. It's like, can you come over to my house, or I'll meet you somewhere in the park? But the plan is not for him to apologize, because the thing about it is, you could be dealing with a man that feels like everything that he did, there was nothing wrong about what he did to you. It was okay for him to be controlling and be abusive and call you out of your name. Like, he felt like there was nothing wrong with him treating you in such a bad and negative manner. You know, it's like he feels like there was no wrong in what he did. So he's like, I don't have to apologize. But he tells the woman that in order to get her to come to him, and so that he can, and then it's his plan, he put in place, start this big argument, and then he kills her, and then takes her body and just dumps her body off somewhere, like somewhere off in some woods. So this is the type of stuff that you may see on TV, but this is reality. You know, I'm talking about real court shows, that a lot of this stuff, law shows, a lot of this stuff is really happening, that women has fallen prey and has actually lost their lives to the hands of a man because he didn't convince them and talk them into meeting him somewhere to apologize. You know what I'm saying? So I want to say to a woman that if you have chosen to walk away from an abusive relationship, stay gone. Don't you go back to that. It does not matter if he's saying that he's sorry and that, he just want to apologize. And you do what you need to do to let go of that, to let go of him, to let go of the relationship, and you move on with your life. If that means that you have to make some changes, like if you've been dating this man for a while and he knows where you live at, you may need to relocate. You know what I'm saying? You may need to make some changes. You know what I'm saying? Like if you at a job and, sometimes it's like, okay, I don't want to give up my job, but it's a possibility that you may need to relocate so this man does not know where you're at. Because you have men out here, they know where women are working at. They know where you live at. They're stalking you. They're stalking you. I've seen where a man has actually stalked this woman, found some way into her house, and she's sleeping in her bed, and she wakes up being stabbed. Like this man made his way into her house, and she wakes up with this man on top of her, stabbing her. So you have to do what you need to do in order to start over, in order to start a new chapter in your life, in order to move forward. But I encourage you to leave it exactly where it's at and move on with your life, and for you to realize that this man is not for you and that you deserve so much better. And don't allow yourself to be coerced or allow yourself to be drawn into a web of deceit of him saying, well, I'm getting help and, I'm in counseling. Because see, he may be getting help. He may be getting counseling. He may be getting the help that he needs. And see, what you and I need to do is, okay, good for you. I'm glad that you're getting the help that you need. But that doesn't have anything to do with me, because I don't feel the need, or you shouldn't feel the desire to return back to that. Because this is what I feel like, that whatever that the two of you had going on, whatever the two of you did, and what the two of you the time and how the relationship was, and what you did and who you did it with. You have to say, okay, the relationship was toxic, the relationship was bad, it didn't work out, I chose to break it off, and I'm not going back to that. I'm trying to move on, with my life, a new start and a new beginning. And I just wanted to get on here and say that. That's one point. I also want to say this, a second point. A very quiet man, like a man that's too quiet. I don't know if women, if you feel this way. A man that is too quiet. He's very quiet. That's scary to me. Like, it's one thing to, we throw this term around, introvert. Okay? An introvert is kind of a person, I believe that an introvert is also, when we talk about introvert, we talk about somebody that kind of off to themselves or things like that. But when I think of an introvert, I think of someone who is not choosing to allow themselves just to be around any and everybody. So an introvert, in my opinion, on the upside, on a positive note, is a person that will carefully choose the people that they hang out with, the people that they will include in their circle. So an introvert could be a person who has a very small circle of people that they talk to, they communicate with, they hang out with, and that they are choosing to do life with. I believe that can be someone who is an introvert. An introvert is also someone who kind of knows how to stay in their lane. So they don't always feel the need to get involved or be included in every conversation that is going on. You know what I'm saying? Like, they know how to distance themselves. They know how to stay out of things. They know how to stay to themselves. You know what I'm saying? That is my opinion of an introvert. But they know how to talk. They know how to communicate. They know how to commune. They know how to engage in conversation. They know how to be helpful. They know how to give advice. They know how to be supportive. Okay? But a man that is very, very quiet is scary to me. And if I'm with a man that's very quiet, that's going to ring, that's like alarming to me. Because the first thing I'm going to be thinking about who he really is and what is really going on with his inner self. Because a man who is very, very quiet to me and very standoffish, like the two of you are dating, the two of you may be in a relationship, but you notice that he really doesn't, you take him out around family gatherings, the two of you are actually in a relationship, you're exclusive. You take him out to family gatherings and things, and instead of him coming around the family and kind of talking with the family and kind of catching up on how things are and what's been going on, you bring him around and he doesn't even speak to nobody. He just kind of goes off on his own. That is very suspect behavior. Like, I bring you out to be around my family and friends and you won't even speak. You won't even say hi. You don't even want to be around anybody. But then when it comes to me, you get mad and upset with me because you're like, I'm not spending time with you. But I'm here with my family and I'm around my family and I brought you here, but you want to be standoffish and you want to be rude and you want to be disrespectful, and then you want to tell me that I'm not giving you any kind of attention. So that's very suspect behavior, and it also can mean a man who has some serious social, emotional, mental issues. Also, when it comes to you, he doesn't want to have conversations. He doesn't want to talk about things that are really important. He kind of is very vague about things, very brief. For the most part, he brushes a lot of things underneath the rug. He tells you, oh, that's not important. You're trying to express to him how you feel. He disregards how you feel. That's very scary to me, because he's definitely a man who is emotionally unavailable. But he could also be a man that is ready to pop, that's ready to explode, that's ready to snap at any minute. It's just like, have you ever had a balloon? I remember one time I was blowing up a balloon and the balloon popped. And the reason the balloon popped is because the balloon had too much air in it to hold, so it exploded. Don't you know that us as people, when we have so much going on and it's just piling up and piling up and building up and building up, and we're not getting the appropriate help or the appropriate release that we need, everything is just piling up, sooner or later you're going to explode. Sooner or later you're going to be like that balloon that popped and you're going to snap. And I believe that a man that is really, really quiet, that doesn't want to talk to anybody, deal with anybody, he doesn't want to talk to you, and you're his partner, you're in a relationship with him, it's a possibility that this is a man that's dealing with a whole lot of demons. You know, he has a whole lot of demonic spirits that he's dealing with. It's kind of like being like trapped in the closet situation. You know what I'm saying? Where it's like you're trying to get out of something, but you don't know how to get out of it. You don't know how to deal with it. You don't know how to handle it. A man that doesn't know how to deal with life and life issues. And that's very scary to me. And I'm not sure. And so if I was in a situation like that, or in a relationship with someone, that wouldn't work for me, because communication needs to be so effective and so seasoned and so on board and on track and so balanced in a relation when it comes to being in a relationship with me. So a man that's just so quiet like that, and so distant, and so standoffish, and doesn't want to talk, doesn't want to have those in-depth conversations, because it's just above and beyond his capacity. Like, he's just a man. I did a video like when he's not ready. He's a man that's not ready. He's a man that I believe has a lot of issues, serious issues, a lot of demons in his closet that he's dealing with. And he's a man that really can't do a whole lot for you. In my opinion, he would be a man that can't really do a whole lot for me. And I don't want it. See, it's scary because I don't want to be in his presence when he snaps. I don't want to be in his presence when he becomes like that balloon that popped. I don't want to be in his presence when he just explodes, and next thing you know, this man is trying to kill me, or he didn't kill me. You know what I'm saying? Because he just snapped out. It was too much for him. It was too much that had built up, and eventually it drew him, and it took him over the edge, and he just snapped. And I that's scary to me. A man that is so quiet, very, very quiet. That wouldn't work for me. That's scary to me. So I just wanted to get on here and just talk about that. Leave it alone. Don't play with abuse. Don't play with abuse, because what I know is that it never ends well. Abusive relationships, somebody always ends up hurt. Somebody always ends up with their life taken. Either somebody locked up in jail or prison or in the grave. It just never ends well. So don't play with abuse. You know what I'm saying? Because there's so many times that a lot of us women are in abusive relationships, and it always starts out verbally, and then it becomes even more intense, and then it becomes physical. And this man has put his hands on you so many times that he's basically killed you now, because things have gotten so intense, and things just, because the toxicity just grows and it just worsens, and somebody is going to end up hurt. So we don't play with abuse, and if this man is, telling you that he wants to apologize, he needs you to meet him somewhere. You don't meet him nowhere. Whatever he wants to say to you over the phone, let him say it. And then when he gets done saying whatever he wants to say, that's when you say to him, you know what, this is not going to work out for me. I'm done with this. I've taken this far too long. I've taken too much of this from you, and it's better that you and I just move on with our lives. And I'm just looking forward to a new start, a new beginning. And I suggest that you do the same, and just leave it at that, and just move on and do what you need to do. If you need to relocate, if you need to make some changes, then you go for that. But do not go back to that. Do not go back to that. And I just wanted to get on here and say that. Until next time, you all take care and you be safe.